and that will just make you, sorry, hit okay. Oh, brilliant. There's Rachel joining as well. Hi, Rachel. We're just about to start.
Hi.
So excellent. Nice to see you. I
You
think
too.
Anne was going to join as well, but that's okay. So welcome. Brilliant. I'm going to have a word about the floor. Okay, so we're going to start, where are we going to start today? Child's pose. So we're going to start in child's pose in a minute. This flow is mainly in my head. The best ones, Vicky. Reason being, I did a flow this morning. I managed to get time to do some yoga this morning. So I scrubbed what I was doing and I got something in my head. So we'll go with it. We'll see where we go. A little bit of balancing, lots of stretching. And if you just need to just take a moment, just find a blanket, Laura, and just have a snooze. So we're going to come to the mat in child's pose. If you want to, you can take knees as wide as the yoga mat, toes together. Allow the hips just to sink back. If you have a blanket, want to protect the back of your knees, make it softer, please do. And just allow yourself to come all the way down to the mat. Maybe bringing the forehead down. Just allowing the hips to gently sink. The breath just to start to connect. That mindfulness. Breathing into the whole of the body. Becoming aware of breathing into the sides of the body. And we're going to take this stretch to one side, whatever side feels comfortable first, taking one hand to the edge of the mat and then another hand in front and just stretching through the side of the body. Breathing into the stretch, just to deepen the stretch if you want. Moving to the other side when you're ready, just moving this stretch across. Starting maybe to connect the breath a little more with the inhale and the exhale, just being a little deeper and a little longer. And then we're going to walk the hands gently towards us. Bring the knees together. Just bring the knees just gently to the thighs. Again, keep that mat behind you if you want to protect the knees. Little allow the shoulders just to relax. And then take the chin to the chest, just lengthening down the back of the neck. Take an inhale here. And an exhale. We're going to interlace the thumbs and you're going to inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale, the elbows behind you. Chin can come gently down if you wish. Inhale, grabbing the thumbs, inhale, lift, opening, maybe the gaze comes high. Exhale, arms behind. Last time, inhale. Exhale. Left hand to the ground, right arm over. Allow a big stretch. Circling, just dropping the arm, circling the arm forwards across to the other side. Left hand comes over and arches back again. Take some big deep circles here, just using that movement, that breath, inhaling to center, exhaling across. Inhaling, there's a lot of movement and a flow tonight, so make this practice your own. Lots of organic movement. You can tell I had a bit of a creative moment this morning on the mat. So I'm going to bring that into the practice. Promise there's no circular flow yet. And then just come back to center. Just take the tiptoes behind you and just gently just sit back with a little toe stretch. If it's not for you, then come to a little Malasana squat. If it is for you, just taking a little moment on the toes. You might even want to take this little candlestick pose, bringing the hands together, allowing yourself to lift all the way up. If it's not brilliant for you, come to a wider Malasana squat. A little bit of balance tonight. And all the way, hands to the heart, Anjali Mudra. At the back of the mat, we're going to take a very gentle forward fold, just lifting the hips, pedaling out the feet. If you need, you can use a block to bring the earth up to you a little. It's often a tendency for us to bring the weight into the back of the heels. So allow the weight over the balls of the feet. Bend the knees if you need. And then we're going to bring our hands to our elbows into dangling pose. Again, if you really need to bend into this, you can bring the belly right down to the thighs and take almost a seat. We're going to bring the hands to the shins, the gaze to the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back. And we're going to exhale, we're going to walk the hands forwards into plank. Take a stretch here. Knees can come down if you wish. If not, push into the heels. Engage that front body. Take the gaze as long as the mat. Push away from the mat. Feel those shoulders broaden. Soften the knees. We're going to bend the knees, lift the hips up into downward facing dog. And here, as much movement as you like. Swaying the hips. Circling the ankles. Taking the stance wide if you want to. Pushing the hips, pushing away. Play with the shapes. Bringing yourself to downward facing dog, into a place where you can rest slightly. So what we're going to do, so we're going to push into the hands. Let's just check our base pose. We're going to push away. That's it. Bend the knees. Allow the sit bones to come a little higher. That's it. Push the forearms together and allow that head just to rest as you just look through towards the knees, engage in that core. We're going to just anchor the left foot and lift the right into tripod, into three-legged dog. And then open the hips to bring the heel towards the glute. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to see if you can, that hip that has just come up, see if you can get the hips pointing forward slightly. So just by a couple of milliseconds, so your hips are square to the front of the mat. Anchor the right foot, lift the left into tripod. Again, stack the knee, bring the heel to the glute on the other side. See if you can bring those hips square. That's it. Even weight in the hands. And then all the way back to downward facing dog. Stepping gently or hopping to the front of the mat into Uttanasana. Take a moment, just warming up the wrists. Maybe a little star with the hands.
We're going to anchor the left foot, bend the right knee slightly, leave the left hand on the mat and open. Hand might not come all the way, it doesn't matter. Switch hands, right hand comes to the mat, right leg straightens, left bends. All the way back down to Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, hands to shins, gaze forward. Exhale, all the way down, hands to the hips, draw the elbows and the shoulder blades gently in towards each other. Push through the feet and hinge at the hips all the way, keeping the hands going all the way up. Upward salute, hands to the heart. Inhale, sunburst. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plank. Take a moment here in plank. Bring the knees down if you need. Now in plank, you can bring knees to do this, but we're just going to take little push-ups, a little plank dip. So dip the elbows, push back up. Bring the knees down underneath the hips. Allow the belly to lift, to sink and lift the chest into cow. I know, see. And then exhale into cat. Untuck the toes, walk the hands behind you. Fingers facing forwards and allow the hips to rise if you wish, just allowing the neck to stretch. All the way forwards again, walk your hands forwards. Lift up to downward facing dog. Take a moment here in downward facing dog. Inhale up and over to plank. Exhaling, sinking into plank. Little plank push-up if you wish, you don't have to. Knees come down. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Untuck the toes, walk the hands back. Hip stretch, chest open. Come to the fingers if you want a little bit more height. So fingertips if you want some height. Push all the way forwards. Should be starting to warm up into downward facing dog. Up and over into plank. Knees down if you wish. Little plank push up here. Last time. Knees down to the mat. Allow the belly to sink, chest to open into cow. Exhale, rounding the spine into cat. Walking the hands back gently. Just take a gentle stretch if you don't want to go the whole way. And just allow the hips to rise. All the way back. Back to downward facing dog. Take a moment in downward facing dog. Legs might just feel like they're warming up a little bit more now. Just pedal just to check in with them. Take a moment here and then lift up and either step or hop to the front of the mat. Take a moment in forward fold. We're going to take the toes out gently to the side, bring the hands together, come into an active squat at the front. Make sure the whole of the sole of the foot is engaged rather than just the toes. Take a moment here. Push all the way up. Take the hands out to the side, circling all the way. Bring the hands all the way up again. And then as we sink on an exhale, sink back down into that active squat. Keep it high if your knees are not happy. Straightening the legs, bring yourself into Uttanasana. Bring the feet underneath you. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hop or step to plank. And take a vinyasa or a child's pose. So I'm going to come knees down, elbows facing the back of the mat. Just draw myself gently into Bhujangasana. Take your time, meeting or staying in child's pose if you wish, or meeting in downward facing dog. Just take a moment wherever you're comfortable. All the way to the front of the mat. Anchor the feet, soften the knees, engage the core. Either circle the arms up or bring the hands to the waist. Engage the shoulder blades, lift all the way up. Hands to the heart. Take a moment in mountain. If you've got water or layers to adjust, then please do. Allow yourself just to check in with the body. See how you're feeling. Time flies when you're having fun. It does indeed. It feels like it should be July out there. It is, isn't it? It's really warm. Okay. So where are we going? We're going on a little flow. Let's see where we go. Balance. Balance. So come into mountain. So you'll need space to be able to step back on your mat into a high lunge in a minute. So just make sure you've got that. You have the squeaky floorboard. Move your mat just forward, Anna, and you'll be absolutely fine. That's it. Could always come next to me. Right. Find your connection in mountain. We're going to take the thumbs together. Interlace, lift all the way up. I'm going to take this really nice and slow. Feel the feet grounding, the rise through the top body, that connection to the legs. Now we're going to fold. As we do, soften the knees, bring the hands gently behind you, interlace the fingers and allow the hands to rise up. Wherever you're comfy. If that's not comfy for you, then please take an alternative. Breathe here. Bring that weight over the feet slightly, engage the core. Now we're going to soften the knees, come to Utkatasana, chair, as we come forwards. Let's lift that chest open, tuck the tailbone slightly in, engage the core. Anchor the left foot. We're going to come up to one-legged mountain. Now push that anchored foot into the mat, lifting that right knee. Good. Hands are going to come together, a little figure of four just coming in here, gently sinking into figure of four. That's it. Elbows can come to knee and sole of the foot if you would like, or just keep it high. Back to that one-legged mountain. Inhale, lift. We're going to step all the way back, keeping the hands forward to high lunge. Take a moment here. Inhale, crescent moon. Keep that back leg. If you've got any issues with the back, the lower back, you can soften that back knee, okay? If not, then just allow that stretch through the back leg. Now from here, we're going to plant the hands and we're going to come into tripod. So it's going to be your left leg that kicks up into three-legged dog, into tripod. Excellent. Now you've got a choice here. You can bring yourself to downward facing dog, and then we can come all the way into plank vinyasa, or you can come to funky vinyasa, one-legged funky vinyasa, all the way over to plank. Catching the toes, coming to up dog. Allowing yourself to roll, bend the knees, lift up the hips to downward facing dog. Take a moment here. Inhale and exhale. Anchor that right foot again. Lift the left leg all the way back up. Bring it all the way through back to high lunge. Inhale as we sweep all the way up and cactus the arms. On an exhale, well done. Inhaling lift. Exhaling cactus. Inhaling lift. Exhaling cactus. Sounds like there's a mouse trying to escape. The floorboards are really giving it some tonight. Inhaling lift. Exhaling cactus. Take a moment here, bring the hands forward. Interlace them behind you. And gently drop that back foot into a warrior position. We're going into a humble warrior. So open the chest, inhaling. And gently bring the body forward. So that left knee is bent. So we're looking to the side. Release the hands to the mat, frame the foot into a runner's lunge, and either come to child's pose or take a vinyasa. So you can take high plank to low plank if you wish, to up dog, to downward facing dog. So you want to slip off the back of your mat. And then everyone come down into child's pose. Take a moment, maybe resting your forehead on the back of the arms. Just giving yourself a moment. Breathing in and breathing out. If you haven't already in the practice, start to think about connecting with that Ujjayi breath. So sealing the mouth, inhaling. And on the exhale, keeping the lips sealed as if you're fogging a mirror. Or for any reason, if you're not wanting to play with the breath, then just a normal inhale and exhale. Walking the hands towards you gently. Bringing the knees together. Taking the hands gently to the thighs, just checking in. Maybe softening the eyes. Taking a moment here before we walk the hands forwards. Come to stacked back. Take a little moment with cat-cow, inhaling into cow, exhaling, rounding the spine. Inhaling into cow and exhaling, rounding the spine. One last time, maybe tucking the toes if you want a little toe stretch. And exhaling. We're gently going to come back to that neutral spine. Walk our hands if you need, like me, to give yourself a bit of space to come up to downward facing dog, tucking the toes, lifting the hips. Allow the neck to relax. Have a think about your base pose here, pressing into all of the fingerprints. So pushing into the thumb, the first, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth. I can count. Moving those forearms towards each other so you can feel the shoulders really broaden. Allowing the knees just to gently bend to push the hips up high. Keep that breath moving. Stepping to the top of the mat to Uttanasana. Bring the weight over the balls of the feet. Hands gently to the elbows. Dangling pose. You can take this dangling pose wide. You can actually take the feet to the edge of the mat to soften the legs if you wish. It's always good to switch things up. You can allow the legs to bend and stretch one way and the other. Bringing the feet gently underneath you. Rising up, your choice. I'm going to bring hands to the hips, engaging the core, lifting up. Hands to the heart. Take a moment in mountain. Make sure you've got room to step back. Really anchor the feet. Feel that lift. So almost lift the kneecaps, engage the thigh, kind of grow an inch taller. Feel the weight into the heels. Relax the shoulders. Interlace the thumbs and we lift. Inhale, lift. If the neck is comfy, looking forwards, that's fine. You can take it high if you wish, feeling a stretch through the front body. Now softening the knees, keep that core gently supporting, hands interlace behind you, bend the knees to lift the hips, allow yourself to rise up with the arms. Sinking the hips, bending the knees, bring the hands forward to Utkatasana. Right foot's going to anchor as the left foot comes up into one-legged mountain. Hands come gently to the heart, ankle crosses, little four, figure of four. Inhale, lift all the way up. It's the floorboards doing it. Use a bit of push and pull. Push into that grounding foot, the stable foot, and lift and move. Yeah. It's probably worse. And then all the way to high lunge. Again, adjust high lunge to where you need. Now it's the right foot that's going to come up into tripod as we plant the hands. Lift that right foot up into tripod. We're going to take a little vinyasa here. You can take a little funky vinyasa if you wish. It's like a little one-legged vinyasa up and over into high plank, dropping into up dog. But you've all got different variations, coming either into child's pose or downward facing dog. Take a moment here. Anchor the right foot, lift the left back up into tripod. And then bring it down. I've got the wrong side. Anchor the left foot, lift the right up into tripod. And then bring it all the way forwards, coming up into high lunge. Draw the arms behind you, cactus. Inhale, lift. Exhale, cactus. You can drop that chin if you wish. Inhale, lift. Exhale, cactus. Take the hands behind you, interlace. Drop that back foot. Push into the front foot. Push into the back edge if that's comfy on the ankle on the back foot. Inhale, we lift and open. Exhale, humble warrior. Sinking down. Push the feet into the mat, lifting body, and then runner's lunge. Take a Vinyasa or come to child's pose, wherever you choose. So you can come into a high plank, wherever you feel, meeting in child's pose. Pushing the hips back. And take a moment in child's pose. Take a big, deep, lovely, friendly breath into the sides of your body. Feeling the back, feeling the sides of your body, and then exhale. Walk the hands all the way to the knees. Bring the knees in line with the hip points. Now, if you've got a blanket and you want a little softness on your knees, please do, as we lift gently up into just a little baby camel. So just keeping the knees underneath the hip points. And then we're going to take the right hand all the way up. Left hand just gently open. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open on the other side. Inhale, lift. Hands might come together. Hands to the heart. If you want to, you can just support the back, just gently, and we're opening the chest in just a little baby camel. So instead of pushing into the lower spine, which hurts, allow the chest to kind of lift and open. The gaze is just gently up. If you want to, you're very welcome to continue that journey into camel. Allowing length through the neck, allowing yourself that space. If it's uncomfortable in any way, then please just ease off into just a little baby camel. I'm going to come gently forwards into a stacked back position. Circle the hips, just allow the hips to circle one way, taking movement into this. Sinking the hip if you need. We'll have to oil the floorboards for you, Anna. Do you know what? I know, but do you know what? Look, it's just beautiful, isn't it? The kind of all the beams and the creaky wooden floorboards and the bats and the it's wonderful. I do love it here. And then we're going to lift the hips up high. I'm not quite sure if you're online, you can hear, but the floor seems to be quite squeaky tonight. So we're laughing at all the squeaks. And then we're going to draw ourselves all the way forwards to the top of the mat. Take halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Either sunburst or hinge at the hips, lifting yourself all the way up high. Hands to the heart. And off we go. We're going to anchor ourselves, take ourselves into mountain. Interlace, lift through the front body. As we fold, bring the hands gently behind, lift the hips, interlace the hands. As we come forwards, we're going to sweep to Utkatasana, to chair. Engage the core, tuck the tailbone just slightly in and under. Take the hands to the left-hand side. Now, either you can take this into just a little revolved twist by just drawing the hands into prayer, or you can open that side if you wish into revolved twist. Totally up to you where you feel. Hands to the center. Slice to the other side. And then either draw them up into a little prayer or open. Inhale back to chair. Legs might be feeling a little bit. It's okay. We're on our way into one-legged mountain. Off we go. Inhale up. Right leg lifts. Hands come forwards. Push through the foot. Back to one-legged mountain. Hands come to figure of four, to the heart. All the way back to one-legged mountain. You'll get there. Every day is a different balancing day. High lunge. Hands on the mat. Left foot comes to tripod. Left foot comes forward, back to high lunge. Lift, high lunge, crescent moon. Cactus the arms. Inhale, lift. Exhale into cactus. Interlace the fingers. Drop the back heel into humble warrior. Sweep, push all the way back up, sweeping the hands forwards, pivot on that front foot. Now you've got choices here, okay? We're going to warrior three. So you can either interlace the hands and step to warrior three, or you can use your hands, airplane arms, or forwards, or you can have your foot on the mat, wherever you are in Virabhadrasana 3. And if it's not the pose for you, take mountain. And just take a moment there. Just come to a balance. And then bring the feet together. Bring yourself all the way up back to mountain. Just feel the mat, the floor supporting you ish tonight. Interlace the hands, inhale. Exhale, sweep behind you. Draw the hands forwards, chair. Sweep to one side, open, revolve chair. It's a lovely shape, Ingrid. Inhale all the way up. Exhale to the other side. All the way back to center. Forward fold. Take a moment here, just stretching through. Now, whatever side we haven't done, you can tell I've just forgotten my right and my left. I'm having one of those nights, aren't I? We're going to step into high lunge. So I think my right foot's going to go back. Is that right? It's left foot back. Sorry, it's left foot back. Yep. Oh, into high lunge, crescent moon. Because I was thinking of the next sequence again. Cactus the arms. Inhale, lift. And cactus the arms again. Interlace the hands gently. drop that back heel. So we take that kind of warrior stance, really feel that back foot connect, and then fold into humble warrior. Take a moment here. Bring yourself all the way up. Now you can release the hands if you wish, or if you're wanting to play with the bound Virabhadrasana 3, you can bring yourself up or use your hands to balance. So you can bring yourself into Virabhadrasana 3 if you wish, just a little bound variation. If you're not keen and your back's going, I don't fancy that, bring yourself back to Tadasana. Taking a moment and then joining the feet together. And we're going to take ourselves down to the mat. Now there's choices here. Knees don't allow, then please gently support yourself to come down. But if knees do allow, take a step as wide as the yoga mat and gently make your way down into Malasana. I was in class yesterday, actually taking a class for the first time in like years, for a whole hour. Actual children, I know, didn't kill anybody. It's just like being back in class, girls. And then we're going to bring ourselves all the way down and bring the feet together. We're going to take a moment here because you've been doing lots of balancing. So we're going to come all the way down to our backs. So roll all the way down and just allow yourself a moment. If you end up staying down here, it's absolutely fine. Just take a really extended Shavasana. And if you want to, bring the knees together and allow the soles of the feet just to really feel the earth underneath them, the spine to feel long, the shoulders to feel supported. And just take a moment here, just with the breath, the rise and fall of the breath. And then bring the knees gently towards the body. And just take a moment, either rocking, rolling. And if you prefer to be seated, please just take that upright position. Even use the wall behind you, just to take a moment. We're going to be joining you back up and seated in a minute. And then taking a rock and roll if you wish. Watch your spine on the mat. Just reaching the hands forwards. You can just stay here and just take some gentle movement. Maybe take butterfly if you want to. Or if it's for you, you can take a rock and roll all the way back and forwards. Coming to wherever you're comfy, and if you're wanting, and that was a really comfy pose, if you want to go and roll into plow, you're very welcome to. We're in just Baddha Konasana at the moment. Hadn't planned this, but it's quite a nice one we've just been doing like lots of one-sided stuff, so just taking a moment. And in Baddha Konasana, you can bring the heels towards you a little if you wish, and you kind of peel the soles of the feet open. So there's a yin version of butterfly, which is very soft, and we can bring the feet away from ours and allow ourselves to roll. And if that's for you, that's great. Or you can keep it active, just lifting up through the spine, and maybe just taking a little kind of half moon with the nose. Taking a bit of a neck stretch, a roll, back and forwards. Now I'm going to just, because we're here, it's a really good opportunity, and it's just such a good opportunity. And you might just want to continue just sitting up and really feeling the feet planted. So if it's not for you, we're going to play with boat pose. So if it's not for you, just allow yourself to settle and take a moment, or use the wall behind you. If you're not wanting to do any core work, sit up against the wall, or put your legs up against the wall, or take a rock and roll or a plow. You know that you've got alternative poses that you can play with. If it is for you, we're going to think about not keeping, so we're not going to crunch the back and the lower back. We're going to open the chest. By opening the chest, we keep the arms gently outstretched and we activate the body. Now, could be you're just here, and that's great for everyone. It's fine. You might want to bring the shins parallel with the sky. You might want to bring it up into a fuller boat pose. If you're in a fuller boat pose, that's nice, Christian. That's really lovely. That's nice, Vicky. You're keeping your eyes with your hands, with your toes. Okay, so you're trying to keep a level. That's it. That's great. My goodness me, look at all of you. Wow, that's amazing. Goodness me, you can tell you've been doing yoga for a while. Do you know how much you've all well, I know there's a few new faces in here who are also doing well, but those who have been with me practicing quite a while, do you actually realize how much you've actually improved in strength to all? That was quite impressive. Well done. Excellent. So take it and mix it up a bit if you want to. So you can do a little low boat to high boat. So lifting up. If it's, again, not for you, you can use one foot on the ground. Just gently working. That's it. And keep that chest open. So you're keeping the shoulders open rather than collapsing. That will give you that integrity. So this is not just, but this is actually about hip flexors. Not just, it's working our core as well. But this is the sort of exercise that's going to help you. You know, when we do that like one-legged and we stick the leg out at the front and lift up, it's that hip flexor strength that actually you're starting to work on. So now again, I've just made you work really hard. So either take Dandasana here and just allow yourself just a moment just to lengthen the legs, or and the other options I'm going to give you is you can just come into a little upright pigeon, or you can come onto your backs and draw yourself into more of an active pigeon if that helps. If it's not, bring the knees, take a roll, wherever you are, find something that's just comfy for you. And then gently roll all the way back up, bring yourself to all fours. Come back into all fours here. Any movement, if you're still wanting to even up and flex the spine, please do. We're going to move into downward facing dog in a minute. So I'm going to lift the hips gently up high. Take a moment in downward facing dog. And we're going to just step to the center of the mat. Hinging, lifting all the way to mountain. Now, I'm aware I always have kind of certain conversations buzzing around in my head. So if this is, again, if it's a one-legged pose and you're like, not sure about that, then we're going to come into tree pose. But in tree pose, you can keep it very soft. Okay, so you don't have to crank it up.
All right, you can keep even your foot, and even if you want an alternative, you can come into Garudasana as well, which keeps the hips quite close together. I'm just thinking we've done a lot of back and forwards, so I don't want to aggravate anyone's kind of lower back. If not, you've got choices. If not, come into tree pose. Have a play. Use the wall. So we've got the wall here if you want to play, especially if you just want to really find that place where the inner thigh and the sole of the foot meet. And if it's a new one to you, then it's about anchoring the left foot, lifting up, and either opening the hip so that the foot is below the knee joint, or and then bringing the hands, which kind of zips you up all the way through the middle. That's it, Christian, keep your that's it upright, that's it, chest open, try not to come forwards or to the side. And then it might be that you want to try and play to grab that foot, bring it above. And what happens is you either need Velcro sticky leggings, or you need to push your sole of your foot into the thigh. It's quite a lot. It's quite a lot of still slips. So instead of crunching, open up and allow that core. What is that? Oh, true yoga style. That's it. Excellent. You may wish to take a mudra of various sort into this. Now, the gaze is better ahead, fixed on a point that isn't moving. If you're looking at something moving, it's always a struggle. You could take bending tree if you wish, so you can take an arm to the knee and your top arm over and play. Well done. Now, one side is often easier than the other. So most of you would have just gone to your easy side. So have a play. If you're playing at home with this, you can use a chair, edge of a chair, or a wall or a sofa, because it's always good to take the wobbly bit out. So if you need to use the wall to work on your leg, then do. So, did you? Really? Yeah, see all these tricks. So maybe the hips slightly more open, so the sole of the foot pushes in, and then push the leg into the sole of the foot so you can feel. That's it. Engage the core. Draw yourself up. Nearly. You get there. You'll get there eventually. It's about the strength and muscles and everything. Everyone's doing really well. That's lovely, Laura. Collapsing tree. Windy tree, collapsing tree, sleeping tree. And then just take a moment, just wiggle the hips, just allow, maybe taking a forward fold, bending the knees, just take some movement up and down. Maybe taking an arm across. Another nice thing for stretch is bringing the leg behind you and sinking into the heel. So you're taking a little crisscross. So left foot steps to the right edge, the back of the mat. That's it. Back and forwards, taking a stretch. And then we're going to come down to plank. If you're here, you can always just, while we're getting down, you can always sneak a little forearm plank in. Just putting it there if you would like.
And then bring the knees down and allow yourself to come into child's pose, sinking the hips. Just allow the hips gently to sink. Taking a moment in child's pose. Just gently drawing yourself up, bringing your feet to one side, and then either coming down to the mat, or you can stay in a seated meditation pose. If you're coming down to the mat, we've done quite a bit. So if you want to come into Shavasana, you can do. What might be quite nice is that constructive rest pose where the knees come together and the feet come down. Whatever you do, taking some time just to get cozy, to get warm. And if you're in this constructive rest pose, just taking a little supine twist back and forwards, just allowing yourself just to wind down, maybe allowing a pause. Just taking a moment. Oh, I thought it was a window. It's okay. It's all right, Anna. Not at all. So wherever you are, just settling, get yourself comfy. Find your cozy blanket, your cozy toes. And then just allow yourself just a moment to settle. Maybe the shoulder blades coming gently under the body. Maybe if it's the sit bones, allowing the shoulders to relax and the spine to grow tall. Wherever you are, becoming aware of the body. Feeling of heaviness, where you're being supported by the mat. So maybe that's the heels or the soles of the feet. Maybe that's back of the lower spine, shoulders. Just allowing yourself softness into the forehead. Softness into the chin. Allow yourself with that breath just to rise and fall.
Just that awareness of sounds beyond the mat, sounds beyond the room. And then gently bring your awareness back to the breath. Bringing the awareness back to the fingers, maybe the toes. Maybe turning onto your left-hand side if you're in Shavasana, but only when you're ready. Gently bringing yourself up very gradually, very slowly to a seated position. Bringing the hands gently together. Taking a nice big inhale and exhale. And thank you very much for joining class. Thank you. It's nice to see Nick and Ma. And Rachel had to go and settle a wee baby girl. She's at home as well. So, right, let me just switch recording and I'll pop this. There we are. Recording, stop.